I'm sure Akia will join us momentarily. I'm excited. So, before we begin this adventure, we need to do a recap based on what happened last time in Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. So if anyone is interested in earning a DM inspiration for this session, please give me a recap roll into the chat. Ooh. We've got a 6 and a 7 in the chat. We've got a 7 going once, 7 going twice. We will sell it to the 7s. Alicia, please take it over.
So last time on Rime of the Frostmaiden, we were picking up from having given our statements for the release of one Baelish Gant in Rebels End Prison, and the counselors had gone to recess in order to deliberate and come back with a verdict. And when they did come back, there was a little bit of legalese. They wanted us to sign off on Baelish's release, and that we would be responsible. Gaiman wasn't exactly having that. Akia was vouching that he was too young to sign something of that nature. I, quite honestly, was still on the fence. But from how Gaiman was able to put it, I guess that was enough for the counselors to accept at least one signature, and that was from Lotus. So signatures were made, the contract was signed, and Baelish was released and turned over to us. However, it was late at night, and we didn't feel like traveling outside of the prison during that time, so we spent the night at the prison. Mostly just tried to accomplish some things. I was still interested in the whole possession that was occurring with the warden. God, I'm blanking on what was occurring during that point. But the night passed. Come morning, we were kind of gathering our things together. Oh yes, I had performed a ritual to gain some insight, possibly into the events in the coming days. We may have some company when Baelish is out in the open, so gave some warning to the party to be ready. But with that done, we went to go see the warden in order to deal with her possession problem. I had learned a new spell recently that was able to break her of that possession. And in her thanks, she had given us some information and some items to help us along the way. And right now, we're just trying to gather some additional equipment before setting out from Revel's End.
That's an excellent recap. And you may reward yourself a DM inspiration for that good work. Okay, everyone. Well, before we move forward, we've got a factspiration question. Your character has lost one of their hands permanently. What do they replace their hand with? And I gave some examples in the chat of potential hand replacements that you could potentially put in your hand or in place of your hand. So let us begin with Lotus Evelis. What would you replace your hand with?
Oh, well, that's actually pretty easy, being that I am a sorcerer slash warlock. I would just permanently have Mage Hand used because it's cantrip. And I know what you're probably thinking. It's like, but Lotus, a Mage Hand can only lift up to 10 pounds. And I'm like, oh, well, you see, my strength is only 8, so I could probably only barely lift more than that much anyway.
It's no big whoop. Lift about the same either way. That's really funny. Lotus, you may award yourself a Faxpiration. That's funny. Let us pop up to Game in the Glade. Gaiman, what would you replace your hand with?
So, I've heard about this play, or series of plays, called Trigun. And there's this character, Vash the Stampede. And, he's a gunslinger, which is, I think is pretty cool. But what's even cooler is that he's got a fake arm. In that arm, he's got a gun. And that's what I want. Because, remember back when the Kia was telling me about, cannons and whatnot around. But this will be even better. So I could have all the utility of an arm, a proper good arm, but then surprise! There's a cannon in my arm. Yeah, that's what I want.
That would be super cool. I'm just imagining Gaiman just in the middle of a fight. It's a slobber knocker. It looks like the chips are going down, and then just like and shoots the cannon out of nowhere. Gaiman, please award yourself a Faxpiration. Let us, last but not least here, let us hop over to Alicia. Alicia, in this tragic circumstance, what would you replace your hand with?
Pretty simple answer, honestly. The metal hand that Jaime Lannister had in Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Alicia would do. Just a metal stiff hand to try and keep some kind of normalcy of losing it.
Is Alicia Alpin gonna have to backhand a bitch?
In the worst case scenario, yes.
No, I just feel like that would be like your intimidation. Like you just walk up and you just kind of like look at the severed hand, just sort of.
What you mean you don't praise the sun?
Yeah, exactly.
100%. 100%. Now, let me go ahead, everyone, and take us back to the world of Revel's End. We are, and Alicia, please give yourself a Faxpiration point. This is the 20th of Uktar, 1489 Dale Reckoning. The moon is in a waxing crescent, and it is 10:27 in the morning. Maybe just the first vestiges of dim light starting to come through the cloud cover that covers the sky here in Icewind Dale. You are all on the dock that is near the entrance to Revel's End. You are near the sailing ship, the Ravenous. The pirate captain, Sharlasta, Stormsword, is waiting to fulfill any requests you guys might have for any shopping or last-minute items you need to buy. She awaits to help you all.
All right, I've already gotten to look over my inventory, and I've got enough that I'll be able to afford 2 greater healing potions. So I'll go ahead and deduct that from my sheet here.
Okay.
What?
Oh, no. Sorry to interrupt. I was just going to grab some greater healing potions for our friend here.
From what I posted in Discord, does that seem well enough that Kia could do? Specifically the crushing into diamond dust stuff. Or would you
With
have to do
Kia's
something
skills,
specialized?
he could certainly make crushed diamond dust for you, and potentially, I think they could create a sunburst pendant worth 100 GP.
Okay.
And speak of the devil, and they shall appear.
Say his name and he shall appear. My favorite stuff like that. Okay, so I'll deduct that stuff, and honestly, I think that. Oh, I guess there was another question. Does this vessel seem like they would, or just asking the captain, do they deal with like rare materials like mithril or adamantine?
The captain will respond. We actually, it's quite fortuitous. The Sea of Moving Ice is filled with mining spots, ore deposits, and all sorts of strange locale. The ice flows are always revealing hidden, well, treasures amongst them. So we may have a few.
Seeing as now Akia's back, Alicia looks at Akia because he had asked her the question, or asked them the question about materials. See if that answer is sufficient for him. Also, if you're speaking, you are coming through.
It seems as if Kia's voice box is malfunctioning at the moment. While Akia is figuring that out, Charlasta will say, well, if you do need any ingots of mithril and or adamantine, I do have quite a few in stock I could potentially sell. They are quite valuable. A adamantine or mithril bar is worth about 500 gold pieces. Mm-hmm. She says they are quite expensive, and really, if I took them further south, I might even be able to fetch a higher price for them.
Well, I unfortunately don't have that kind of cash, but at least it's good to know that resources like that are around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all
Sure,
I have.
we'll look around and ask, well, if that's all that you have, did anyone else have any wares or things they needed to buy or sell? Any oddities or objects that I might not be able to easily find as I take my ship up and down? All right, Charlasta getting the message will say, alrighty then. Well, if you guys have any questions about the Sea of Moving Ice or sailing within it, I could also answer those.
It looks like Kia does want to do business.
Oh, Akia does want to do business. Oh, mic not working. Okay. They will look to Akia doing their messaging via some sort of flashing board. What sort of business would you like to entertain? And Akia's player, could you use your phone? Would that work?
Well, while Kia's working out his communication issues in terms of possible shopping, Gaiman would ask about not so much a question of navigation, but I would like to know about any dangerous creatures that might be found out at sea. Things that might, attack a ship or, attack someone, traveling along the shore. Things like that.
Of course. Something that we constantly have to deal with as we travel through the Sea of Moving Ice is a quite high population of what we call scrag. Scrag are a troll creature that are aquatic. They have gills and lungs. They try to drag sailors off boats, try to sink ships. They're quite nasty.
Well, they clearly haven't met me. But is that like the most common thing you have to deal with, or are there other creatures that abound, or is it mostly just issues with scrags?
Testing.
They are.
Yep, we can hear you, bud.
Yeah.
Yep, you're coming through.
Yeah, sound good. Yes, we've got scrags that are quite a big problem. You'll see lots of large mammalian creatures up there, polar bears, orca whales, walruses, those type of things. But they typically stick far away from a ship. And it's mostly a blessing to see them because, you get to see them kind of interacting with their natural environment. Of course, the worst thing out there is dealing with the white dragon that has laid claim to the Dale. The great white terror, the white hunter. Have you seen or had to deal with this creature before?
We've seen it flying over, but we fortunately haven't encountered it.
Yeah, what she said.
That would be the absolute worst thing. And I always have to scroll to find this. If Arve Achuras were to, swoop down upon a ship, it could be, potentially the end of everyone on board.
Would everyone be okay if I sold these resistance potions for crafting materials? I think I can turn the money into something better. I've got an acid resist, a force resist, and a radiant resistance potion. I think if I could sell 2 of them, that'd be good.
I don't know. I kind of feel like with an acid resist, that's useful, especially if we're going out to sea where things like to eat you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree.
And nothing. Could help you better if you get eaten, but than having an acid resistance potion on hand. That way, you could attack from the inside as well.
Okay.
The horn. I feel like resistance potions are probably a bit useful. I don't know, that's just me.
Okay. I would like to go ahead and purchase whichever one of those ingot. You said those ingots were worth 500. I'll take one. Mechanically, it doesn't make a difference, right?
Correct.
Okay.
They are both metals that can be used to cast magic items.
All right. I would like to buy 1 bar of mithril / adamantine.
The only difference would be cosmetic, essentially, whereas adamantine and mithril just look different. And of course, you could go into like even deeper nuggets, but for our purposes, cosmetic.
Okay. Yeah, I will buy 1 bar of mithril, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, so the end product might be a more brilliant kind of silver blue, and it'll be very light, as in weight light.
And Lewis will just start wondering to herself, like, adamantine, isn't that what Wolverine's skeleton was made out of?
Those Wolverine skeletons are made out of bone, not metal.
No, Gaiman, it's... On my world, there's this superhero, barbarian, much like yourself, but he went by the name Wolverine, and she just starts running down Wolverine's backstory to you.
And there was a weird time.
This is a man who's had the hardest existence ever, and he just keeps going. He's got metal for bones. Well, that's got to be a very heavy, strong motherfucker.
Yes.
This would be, of course, after like getting the whole lore dump for Wolverine, which is tremendous at this point.
He's from the coldest, most unhospitable place on my world, Canada.
And this is just my thinking. A punch from Wolverine, because he has to have advanced physicals just to be able to move his bones around. His arm just has to be so much heavier than anybody else. So if you just get punched, it just hurts more.
Yes, it's like basically he doesn't even need the claws in most circumstances. He just says, like, do I want to do bludgeoning damage or piercing damage?
Anyways, we can't get sidetracked with Wolverine, guys. We can't.
Would y'all be okay if I sell this force resistance potion?
I mean, if you're trying to get resources, yeah, I kind of feel like force is.
Yeah, I'd say out of them, I'd
kind
say
of
that
niche.
that one seems the least useful of them, from what you were talking about.
Okay. I would like to sell the force resistance potion, please.
Okay. Resistance potions, per the merchant guide here, go for 500 GP, so they would buy it for half its value at 250 GP.
Okie dokie.
Our friend Shalasta would say, "Ooh, I do enjoy getting odds and ends, potions, scrolls, all those type of things. So yes, anything like that I can purchase from you, I will definitely do. Or if you have anything weird or wacky that I wouldn't just be able to find."
Weird.
What would you give for the skull of the Great Bear Barbarian King Frankly's head?
She looks around and she said, well, I'm not really quite sure what it's worth. But can we take a look at it and see if I could appraise it and see what I would give you for it?"
Sure. And Gaiman will take out Franklin's head and just sort of plop it down.
This appears to be a very different object than the force resistance potion. I might be able to find a collector for this type of item, depending on the eclectic people I meet at port. And why don't you give her a social influence roll here, a persuasion check on whether or not she thinks she might be able to sell this. So give me a persuasion here, Gaiman.
All right, even money, no whammies.
And do you want to leave it at an 8, or do you want to try to potentially boost this?
Nah, I'll leave it at an 8. It's fine. I was gonna let the dice decide whether I was gonna part company with it or keep it. So I guess I'm keeping it.
He looks at it and says, you know, this would probably be pretty hard to sell. I'd only be able to offer you maybe just a few gold pieces for it.
A few gold pieces. Sorry, that is not something I should get worked about. I appreciate your consideration. I'll be keeping it.
Yes, especially if it has any sentimental value for you.
Well, I mean, not tremendous sentimental value, but it was one in combat, so I mean, there's that. But no, I'll just keep it if we were only giving out a few gold pieces for it. This is one of a kind item. It's just, I'll just keep it at this point.
Sure. She pats you down.
I've got a lot of tools now. I've got a stitched leather wallet with a set of thieves' tools in it. That's pretty valuable, right? I guess I can sell that because I've got extras. So a set of thieves' tools in a stitched leather wallet.
Thieves' tools run 25 gold pieces, so she would give you 12 gold pieces and 5 silver pieces for your trouble.
Deal.
It's like, I could always use more thieves' tools. Always someone interested in buying these.
How much for greater healing potions? 300?
Or yes, for the greater healing potion, that would be 4 hit dice plus 4. Which is pretty good.
Oh, we got distracted by selling of potions. Gaming would ask more about the scrags now that he's aware that they are a pretty common and nasty-ish threat. Is there anything that that they're weak to? I'd like to be prepared if at all possible.
Absolutely. There's no particular damage they're vulnerable to that we have found. However, if you do not burn them with fire, they will continuously regenerate over and over and over again. So it is quite paramount that you have some type of fire to burn them with if they attack your ship.
I think we may have that covered.
Well, you lot do, because you're friggin' magic users. I've got firebolt and firebolt and.
Don't you have a flaming whip?
And a flaming axe.
Yes, but maybe they get knocked out of my hand or some such nonsense, and
an incendiary grenade.
Yes, I have that, but what if I want something with a bit of range to it, eh? I've only got a handful of remnants arrows. Do you have any fire arrows or anything, ranged armaments in terms of fire damage in your bag of tricks there, Cap?
Or maybe a recipe for making fire arrows.
Well, I do have a couple of things. I have Alchemist Fire. Quite a few of those, if you are interested in those. Those are quite a useful implement to just boom, chuck at one of the scrags. Something else that I might have that could be potentially useful is I have one scroll that was sold to me in Mirabar long ago, and I would love to be rid of it, just so that it is not so dangerous just sitting on my wooden ship. I do have a scroll of Fireball, if anyone would be interested in purchasing it.
I don't know. I mean, we've got a sorcerer with us, and it's not the number one thing they learn. Is fireball. Fireball for days. I mean, it kind of have to be at the right price for us to, take it off your hands.
And going to drop this in here in the chat. So they will tell you the going rate for a spell scroll of the third circle of magic is 400 gold pieces.
Oof, 400. Oof. That seems a bit steep, especially with it being so dangerous. Being on a wooden ship and everything. I don't know, guys. I mean, do you think we need a scroll of fireball? I don't think we necessarily need a scroll of fireball, unless it was some incentive. You know what I mean?
Alicia puts up a single finger and a small bead of fire appears on it. I don't think we need a scroll.
Yeah, see, I mean, we go far for days.
I see.
Well, I see where you're going with this game, and do you at least want the alchemist fire, or?
I mean, I think he wants some fire arrows.
I mean, I would prefer fire arrows, but I mean, if you've got some, regular old arrows, do you think there's a way that alchemist fire could be attached to arrows? I mean, he's handy. I mean, maybe we could whip something up. I don't know.
I suppose if you really wanted some fire arrows, we could take some regular arrows and some oil and some rags and kind of douse the rags in oil and lash them to the front of the arrow. I'm not sure it's, if you don't fire them off real fast, though, they'll just burn.
A good way to set your own ship on fire, right?
Sure.
I still have 8 flasks of oil for some reason. If you need to use that, go right ahead.
I would like, while he's debating on that, I would like to buy 335 gold of general crafting supplies.
Sounds good. Sharlasta will say, well, if you were wanting to buy fire arrows, I do have some that were specially made from the spines of devils that were killed here on the prime material. The arrows themselves are kind of pricey. They go for, it looks like, and she pulls up kind of like a little price book. It looks like as if they go for about 20 gold pieces per arrow. Kind of pricey, but they do this. Let me read the description. Combust upon direct piercing. These arrows combust upon direct piercing organic material. When you hit a target successfully with these arrows, you deal an additional 1d6 fire damage.
So that's you said an additional 1d6 fire damage.
So it should. Okay, this is worded. Yeah, they deal an additional 1d6 fire.
How much does the Remoraz do?
I believe they just deal fire.
Remoraz are 2d6 plus strength modifier.
And that 2d6 was from.
Well, no. That's
Bevels,
shit.
isn't it?
No, That's my bow. Damn. I'm an idiot. Hold on.
Yeah, so those would deal the bow damage and then your the fire damage from the arrow. So like Gaiman's oversized longbow does 2d6 plus the wielder's strength modifier, so do 2d6 plus 5.
Yeah, it's just fire. So actually, that's on par with remnants arrows.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an additional 1d6 fire as opposed to just 1d6 fire. So that's not too bad. How many of the Devil's Spine arrows are in stock?
Let's do, for this, we're going to roll 2d10s. She's got 17 to sell.
I'm trying to remember how much the movable rod was supposed to be. I put like a down payment on that. And then was it like $500 for the movable rod?
Movable rod. Movable rod is 500 total for it.
Okay, so there's at least $100 gold down payment. So okay, Jamin will buy 5 of the Devil's Spine arrows. No, let's make it 6. Let's make it 6. That way,
Right,
I've got that plus the remnants arrows. That's a dozen. That's a good number. I'll mark it off from my sheet.
Excellent. Did it drop it over? Let's see. Yes, it did. All right. You are now the proud owner of 6 fire arrows.
Cool.
Did I already ask her if she wanted to buy a cursed frost giant totem?
You did not.
I don't think you did.
I will ask her if she's interested in buying a cursed frost giant totem.
She says, well, how cursed is it? If I touch it, am I immediately going to become cursed? If I attune to it, is that when I become cursed? What's the schmeckle here?
It seems like it's just when you become attuned to the item. It actually makes you very strong and very resistant to the cold, but does make one prone to outbursts of anger, and you might be traveling north for no good reason.
I see. I might potentially be interested in something like that. Can you give me a persuasion check?
All right, persuasion. Very, very low. Yep, very, very low.
Would you like to expend resources to try to...
I mean, I could bump it up to a 10. That's all I could do, really.
Oh, and I guess you didn't get the chance to answer the faxpiration question. Akia, what would you replace your hand with if you ever had to replace your hand?
I think Akia's would probably be like, oh, grappling hook, and then like, wait, this isn't as useful as I thought it would be, and then would have regrets.
How would a grappling hook not be as useful as you think it would be? That's pretty awesome.
It's like it's super situational. It's a little bit more situational
Yes?
than you would first think. But yeah, it would be like grappling hook, and then they would regret it like the second day that they didn't have a use for grappling hook. They'd be like, this was a mistake.
I see. Well, that makes sense. Please award yourself a faxpiration. So you could
Okay.
potentially make it higher if you would like.
I'll attempt to make it higher. All right, that's a 10. Let me see. Do I have any? Oh, I do. Yeah, I'll add 4 to that.
Okay, so using your skills as an artificer, the pirate captain ponders this decision and says, yes, I think that I would buy an object such as this from you. How much are you looking to get out of said object?
Oh, well.
Gaiman will very quickly whisper to Kia's ear, "Wait, don't make the first offer. She's gonna try and lowball you. Maybe you should ask her. I don't know. What do you think it would be worth?"
I would love to trade it for a mithril bar.
Sold, she says. I will give you 1 mithril bar for this magic item.
Yay!
Kia, she said she agreed way too quickly, mate.
But now I have a mithril bar.
You could have got more. You left money on the table.
Akia shrugs.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to haggle. Haggling is not my spirit animal.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't trying to put you in a spot. I did not realize that.
I don't know if that's true. That's what I felt.
No, that's definitely true.
Mhm.
Okay. Mithril sounds awesome. I said mithril, right?
I believe
You
so.
did. I enjoy a good dicker, so I understand if one does not. So I respect your decision not to dicker back and forth.
Well, I have got enough crafting supplies to keep myself busy for a long time.
Well, I'm glad. Charlasta will look around. Is there anything else that I can help you all with, or?
I have everything I need.
Oh, Valish Gant should be attached to me, I guess, or I should be attached to him.
Oh, that's correct. So he needs to be up in here. The chains holding you guys together is quite short. It's like 3 feet of length. So he ain't going nowhere.
One other thing. By any chance, do you have any manacles that might be a bit longer? Because I've got to keep tabs on this bloke, and 3 feet is just not enough, flexibility.
Or maybe just some chain. I can break it and just add some length if we just had some chain.
Some chain, yeah.
She looks around. She says, well, I have manacles in several different lengths. They're quite inexpensive compared to what you've just purchased. Manacles will only set you back 2 pieces of gold. Manacles real cheap.
All right. What you lot reckon? I figure I need 10 feet to kind of have more freedom of movement. Yeah, I'm thinking 10 feet is slack. because when I rage, I'll get. This is going to sound a bit dirty, but I'll get big when I rage.
I've heard of this phenomenon before. They call it the anger boner. Mm-hmm. It is a thing.
It's not sexual. It's not. Jamin blushes.
Mm-hmm. And hey, I believe you. Well, y'all, it seems like our transactions have come to an end. Here are your manacles with 10 feet of slack.
Thank you. Right, you mark that off.
All right, well, Shalasta will say her goodbyes and head back aboard the ship. All right, team. So you guys are. It's 11 a.m. here in Icewind Dale. You guys have taken your last opportunity to stock up. What do you guys do next?
I'd say unless anyone else has any other business here, I think we're good to head out and find a good spot down the way to summon PBR.
All right. I think we're gonna take the B team that came with us. We'll get them and take them.
Absolutely. So that would be Danica. That would be Kumaku's not a member of the B team, but you know Kumaku, Watto, Mr. Nabernacker, and I think that may be it.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 3.
Yeah, it was a kind of a skeleton team, and everyone else is scheduled to meet you guys back in a few days.
Well, remember, it's because we had the 2 giant dudes on the sled. We could only fit so many others on there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that we didn't bring, we still have access to their abilities, right?
Yes.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, never take your guys' B team abilities away from me. I'm not some type of monster.
Unless you
Okay. Unless I kill them.
No. B team contract says you can't kill them.
Oh, yes.
Well,
Yes.
in combat, I don't know how that works narratively, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Orph is totally not crossing his fingers behind his back right now.
I'm not crossing my fingers or my toes. Well, you guys could quickly go back through the prison, of course, going into their new blindfold regiment that they have started to undertake after you guys' visit. Why they didn't think of that before, they don't know. This way they can keep a tight look on all of their secrets and save on paper costs for, signing NDAs and all of that goodness.
They just have to wash the blindfolds every once in a while.
Yes, they totally wash the blindfolds.
yes, they totally do. And then someone has to explain, like, why is there a horrible outbreak of pink eye?
Oh no. Okay. Well, friends, as you guys are collecting your B team, you make your way through the prison blindfolded. Everyone can return back to the stables. That is where Nabernacker, Watto, and the very suspicious-looking barn owl are all resting. And I can grab you guys and take you back over there. If there is nothing else you guys wish to do at the prison, we can move forward.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Sounds good to me.
All right, accompanied by your new traveling companion, Valish Gant, tied tight to Gaiman, keeping a tight lip on what he has to say, seeing the potential results could lead to a hard and fast slap to the mouth. Valish is content to kind of just watch and see what happens based on what has happened. You are all greeted at the kind of the exit of the prison. By the warden.
Hello.
Marta, once again popping a picture up, says, before you all leave, I wanted once again to extend my thank yous to helping Vlax move on to the afterlife.
You're very welcome.
I want to
Hopefully.
extend a favor in case you all ever need one from me here at Revel's End.
Thank you.
It may be useful, it may not be, but she hands you, Alicia, a rolled scroll. Proof of the favor in case it ever needs to be called in question.
It is literally a get out of free card from a Monopoly board game.
Get out of prison card.
Get out of Rebels Inn free card.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Pine is just like rolling in his grave right now, just like, no, that could have been ours.
Well, thank
You
you
all are
for this.
welcome here anytime. You're welcome.
And take care of yourself. Such experiences can be a bit draining on the person. Try not to overwork yourself.
Indeed. And I say the same to you all.
Don't worry. My friend Gaiman is going to be sure to keep a good eye on our new friend.
I'm sure he will be. It looks like they have already become fast friends.
Yeah, I'm on the real neighborly type. And Gaiman will kind of pull him into a rough side hug and give Gant a noogie.
He goes, oh, not the two, not the two. As you crush his well-coiffed hair. The warden will give her thanks once again and allow you all to pass outside of Revel's End, back out into the wilds of Icewind Dale. And I'm going to take us away from this map, and I'll put us back on the start map as you guys have exited the prison. And before we move forward, a little note here. I want to give you guys a DM inspiration for how you guys went through that prison arc. No prison guards got killed. There was no riot that had to be done, and you guys succeeded at all with your heads, your hearts, and it was really cool. So everyone, please take a DM inspiration.
Okay.
So I mean, without spoiling it, I'm assuming there are basically protocols if we had caused a riot in order to get out.
And I think you guys may have been aware of this, but I'll let you guys know. Somehow, some way, you guys would have learned that the prison has a staff of 75 guardsmen at any time, which could have led to you guys having a bad time.
That's a lot of action economy.
It's like the goblin camp fight in BG3 all over again.
Yeah, so there would have been some interesting things you guys may have had to do to either take up their time or stop them from all descending down upon you guys. Okay, so you guys, it sounds like you're going to head away from the prison and begin your kind of your adventure to try to find a space to summon PBR. Is this correct?
I believe so.
That's my understanding.
Okay, well, I need to quickly do this. I'm going to grab you guys, because this sounds exciting to me. And go ahead and roll initiative here, y'all. So, as you all look back and forth to one another, you know that it might be quite the task to find a space for your friend and ally PBR to make port, for you all to begin sailing out into the sea of moving ice, especially with Revel's so close by, and his presence could cause unforeseen complications. So you're going to need to find the perfect spot to pull PBR out of his hold. So we're going to do this as a skill challenge. The DC for the skill challenge for the first stage is a 17. There are 3 secret skills. In the first round of this challenge, you guys will only need 3 successes. There could be some potential complications if you guys don't finish this within 1 round. So beginning our skill challenge, Alicia, as you guys are working towards this goal, how does Alicia help out in the first round?
Looks for a cove or something, highland, I don't know. Something that'd be able to accommodate this big ass creature.
Where can I stick this ship? A 24 is a success. You believe nearby you do see a secluded cove that you guys could make port and pull PBR into. That would be safe and could potentially do the job. So that is 1 success. Lotus.
All right. I say that Lotus will. You see her activate the Flavy Mask, and using her sorcerer and combined sorcerer and warlock abilities, she'll sort of tap into the magic of the weave and use that to try to find a good way to get PBR to appear safely from wherever they are. So it's 1 roll Arcana.
Absolutely. Let's do Arcana here.
17 on the dot.
17 on the dot. That is a success. Absolutely. Using your Arcana connection, using the connection that you have with Flavy, you can tell more diligently how to use the magic of the item to summon PBR in a safe way. Excellent. Moving forward to Gaiman here in the second round. You guys have 2 successes. How would Gaiman help the party discover a locale for PBR to come to?
Let's see. Perception of I guess because Gaiman is concerned that, with the trolls, being trolls, and it is a living ship that we are summoning, that they might be tempted to take advantage of the situation. Either like, oh, this is a giant creature we can attack as a source of food, or it's a giant ship. This, could mean plunder for us, because I'm not quite sure what exactly motivates the Scrags. So I guess Gaiman would try and scout the area, looking for signs, looking for areas where an ambush could be launched, or where we could set up an ambush. Just sort of like prepping the ground for PBR to arrive.
Absolutely. That sounds like a survival check to me.
Okay.
Excellent.
21.
21 is a huge success. As Gaiman described, you guys can start setting up the stage, just in case if you do need to set or stop an ambush from happening. You have the ability to do so. All right, Akia, you guys have 3 successes, but you can put the perfect button here on this first round of this skill challenge. How do you help your party out?
Okay. I'm gonna say that this little bay cove area, maybe it looks like there's could be like a reef out there that if we summon PBR into the cove, maybe this reef, if we summon him in the wrong place, maybe this reef will like actually have him blocked in. So I would like to use a nature check, and I'm gonna go in the water and like check for reefs and stuff.
See if the people of Icewind Dale are like the people of Florida and tried to make coral reefs with tractor tires.
Wait, what?
Can I use a can I use a nature check for that?
You can't. No, that's a real story. It was not successful. 17. That is on the nubbin. Excellent. So you guys have succeeded the first round of this challenge. All right, let's go to round number 2. The DC is increasing to an 18 here as you guys press on to this cove. The terrain of Icewind Dale presenting new challenges at each step. This perfect spot, it's close by, but there's treacherous conditions and harsh elements that can potentially threaten your progress. You have to navigate this landscape with caution and determination to set the scene perfectly for your friend PBR. We're needing 4 successes here. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to reset you guys. And I'm going to re-roll you in, just to get a little bit of a different order. All right, so Gaiman is starting us off here in round 2 for this second stage of the challenge.
I'm thinking. Sorry.
Your time.
Gaiman would so. So Gaiman would like to set up his drum, his big bass drum, and get some elevation, like either overlooking the cove or maybe it's a little ways back. But he would like to start pounding out a rhythm on the drum and then start singing loudly in giant, like a hunting song or like a war song, and try and put out into the universe, basically. Wants to unsettle anyone that might be close enough to like steer the fuck away. So if you're humanoid on land, you hear that, you think, nope, that doesn't sound good. Go the other way. If you're a scrag, like, no, these guys doing business, just wants to like put out intimidating vibes through song and through beating on the drum. So I will do a performance, and I'm going to use a DM inspiration to roll with advantage.
Absolutely, that sounds amazing. I'm already scared just thinking about it.
Okay, didn't even need to roll with advantage. Okay, 23.
23 is a success. Everyone's kind of surrounding the spawn. There's just this sound that Gaiman is producing that is just intimidating and threatening. You think that anyone who knows better is going to steer away from you guys. Okay, Alicia, you are bombarded by the sound of Gaiman's drum.
Alicia would like to go off of maybe some knowledge of how this area yeah, knowledge of how this area has kind of been I wouldn't say performing, but like how it's been over the past couple of years, months, I don't know, almanac knowledge, something. I'm trying to BS a history check here.
I'm into it. Please, yeah, give me a history check.
26.
Damn, yes. You know about the local histories. You have read your Mordenkaiden's Almanac. You know kind of how this area kind of reacts this time of year with the weather and the environment. You, for sure, can help the party make sure that the environment and the weather is not going to get in the way of PBR coming to help you guys. That is 2 successes of the 4 you need.
Perfect.
And Lotus, you are up next here in round 2.
All right. I would say that Lotus will see any sort of hazards coming her way, either on the ground or, whatever's falling from the sky, which, I don't know, it's like this being Icewind Dale, I wouldn't be surprised if there's just random icicles just falling from the sky. So I would say she's hopefully able to definitely dodge out of the way using acrobatics.
Absolutely. Give me an acrobatics check.
11. All right, I'm going to go ahead and burn Facspiration on this.
Sure.
Ooh, 19.
That is a success. Absolutely. You are able to dodge all of the ice and the snow that are falling down. Party, you guys look over at Lotus, and Lotus has like tapped into some type of magical force as nothing seems to be able to touch her. Nope. Okay, you guys have 3 successes. Akia, you guys need a 4th success here, and with it you can finish the 2nd round of this challenge and move on to the final stage.
Okay, so I see that most of our party, or a lot of our party, doesn't have like cold resistance, and that wherever we summon PBR, it's going to be a place where we would have to like swim out to. So what Akia is going to do is they see kind of like just a high a high place that they could jump off of, and using two iterations of Featherfall, Aki is going to help the party get onto PBR by casting Featherfall twice, so that they can just gently float down to the deck instead of having to swim through the water to the ship.
Okay, so how I'm going to rule this here is because you're casting a spell. We're going to make this a success here. Instantly, as you're spending a very valuable resource to make this happen.
Right. Yeah, and it's 5 people each, so I'll have to cast it twice. So I've marked off those spell slots.
Excellent. Okay, guys, you've completed round 3. A little switch up here in the order. In round 3 of our skill challenge, this is the final preparations. With determination and grit, you have all found the perfect spot. However, the last stretch is always the hardest. The cold around you is biting deeper, the terrain grows ever more perilous, and time is of the essence. Here's your final test. The DC has risen to a 19, and there are 3 secret skills. We will need 5 successes before you hit 5 failures. Gaiman, you have won it again. What do you do here to try to set the stage perfectly in this final stage of the challenge?
That's a good question. So we're gonna just featherfall onto the ship. I'm going to continue the performance, but I'm gonna turn it into go from playing an instrument to go to basically we're not fucking around here mode. So with Gant chained to his left wrist, Gaiman is going to start doing a Goliath ritualistic war dance. So think Polynesian, a haka, and but this is practical. Like, weapons are on hand. This isn't just like a performative sort of psyching yourself up. This is, I'm ready to go at a moment's notice, but still maintaining those do not fuck with us vibes. So I would like to do roll intimidation, and I don't know if you want me to leave it as charisma or whether I could make a case for using strength. That way I'm ready to rock and roll. If skags show up, somebody decides, you know what, the drums and the war song are more intriguing than scary. Like we are going to leave, and Gaiman's going to run interference.
I will accept, yes. Strength for charisma here in this intimidation check. "21 is a success." So, everyone that could potentially be listening or watching is definitely intimidated by the power of Gaiman's hockey that he is doing. Okay, that is one success of the 5 you need. Akia, you're up.
All right. I would like to do a this. Excuse me. So I was thinking a history check to just check like when people that actually know what they're doing set up a port, like what they look out for a good port, just to make sure we didn't miss anything. Like I can't think of anything, but maybe someone that would knew what they were doing would go, "Oh, you can't make a port here because of this. That doesn't work." Just that sort of thing.
Absolutely, we can roll history for that. I feel like that is something that would happen. Like you have like an old fisherman who would say, "You can't set port here, don't you see?" And they give their reason, whatever it would be.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I don't want to ruin the perfect streak we've had so far, so I will bump that up with a +4.
Excellent. Okay, so you guys are at 2 successes here. For Shigs and Gigs, we will say you notice, like, oh, I've got to fix that before we can set port. There are several kind of like coniferous trees that are too close that could potentially catch the netting or catch any of the masts aboard the PBR, and that would definitely put a hitch in your giddy up, getting them stuck in those coniferous trees. So you can do some quick forestry to make sure that doesn't happen.
All right.
Okay, we will move forward to Lotus.
So it's a kind of piggybacking a bit off of what Gaiman's doing. She is also a bit worried that, you know, those orcs or possibly any other sort of bandits or other ne'er-do-wells might be attracted by this giant ship that's going to be coming. So sort of set up something to act as a deterrent. I'm going to spend my once per day use of Major Image and use that to basically summon a full-size, growling, very convincing looking dire wolf to basically just sort of be like a fair, at least as far out I can with this, so that it can help keep away any ne'er-do-wells that might interrupt us.
Absolutely. So for this, we're going to say it gives you an instant success because it is a once per day resource. It's a spell. So there's now this snarling dire wolf keeping all of the other wolves at bay to make sure no one gets in your way. Perfect. So you guys are at 3 successes. Can Alicia clinch it here?
It seems like everyone is on alert for something that could be in the area. So Alicia is going to, as a bonus action, spend their feature Revealing Light, which allows them to put up see invisibility without spending a spell slot. And that's going to be going off for an hour. Anyone who was standing close to them also benefit. Oh, no, never mind. Just to see visibility.
Awesome. So
oh, right. No, I am right. When you cast it in this way, your allies also gain the benefit of the spell while within 10 feet of you. So whoever's within 10 feet of Alicia Davies also have see invisibility.
This is really a huge buff for everyone, because now, in case there were any invisible ne'er-do-wells, malcontents that were trying to sneak up on you all, you guys would be able to see them. Excellent. So you guys are at 4 successes, and we will need 1 more to end this challenge. Here in round 4, before we move forward, we have to roll for a complication. So, would someone roll me a d6, please? A d6 for the complication. Okay, a 1. Okay, this is going to be a group check. As you guys are setting this up, Icewind Dale, because of the magic that Auril has cast upon it, flying across the night sky every night at midnight, the just destabilization of the region. There's wild magic everywhere. You guys can sense this wild magic could potentially cause harm to PBR or to maybe yourselves if you were to summon him at this moment. So I will need a Arcana check from everyone in the group to see if you guys can restabilize this. So we got a 29, we got a 17, a 5, okay, and a 10. Okay.
I would like to burn another de-inspiration and reroll that 10.
Please do. Oof. Okay.
All right. Throw out my Faxpiration. And we're a D8, right?
D8.
Well, 17.
A 17. Okay, you guys have enough successes here. You stabilize the wild magic event. All right, and just Gaiman, you could potentially solve this challenge and create the success for the party. You guys have 4 successes, no failures.
I'm thinking. Major illusion was cast. I'm having a hard time because we covered a lot of ground with all of our different checks.
And the first check that I thought Gaiman was going to do, he hasn't done. I don't think Gaiman made a single athletics check so far.
I'm going to try to expand my range. I think I'm going to have to do an athletics check. I would like to, with us having to like jump out and then float in, on the off chance, that we need a little bit of extra distance, can I make an athletics check to, do some lumberjacking, like chop some trees, like make a very rudimentary scaffold, to kind of like give us a little bit more distance as a jumping off point.
You're gonna make us walk the plank?
So I'm gonna make us walk the plank onto the ship.
I'm in for it. Let's see that plank. All right, you can't do much better than that. So, Gaiman, do you want to set the scene as you guys aim for the pirate ship, a la The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson in The Other Guys, and you guys sail down to it? Flawless victory.
Just in a flurry of activity, he's been drumming, he's been dancing, he's been performing, he's been ready to go. At this point, he's just like, "Fuck this, we're going," but we need a plank, and so he'll throw Gant onto his back, uh, grab up Lucille instead of a proper tree felling axe, and he's gonna cut down trees, hew off limbs, lashing things together to make the appropriate scaffold or plank for us to walk off of, to give us that extra bit of clearance and distance to make it onto PBR as they're sailing by. Um, and so he's got Gant tied to his back, clinging for dear life, and Game is just going full tilt to make this happen in the last minute. To cut, tie, uh, bury into the ground, and just like go, just like let's jump off and go. It is D-Day, the 101st Airborne. They are jumping. We are full on doing this.
That's really sick. So you all just airdrop down, and on the way down, who summons PPR?
I mean, I kind of feel like this should be a Kia or Lotus. Like they were the ones that kind of connected the most with them.
I think PBR gave Lotus the actual device to summon them.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let us paint us the picture as you guys are sailing down through the air into the bay. How do you do it?
So, as we're sailing down, Lotus will quick reach to her side pack, take out the spy glass, pull it out, extend it, and then hold it up to her right eye, and aiming very carefully with the help of Flavy's target lock, find the perfect spot right in the middle of the water to have him set down.
And you guys perfectly, as your feet almost begin to come closer to the water, a huge fog bank appears. It envelops up from the water, and under your feet, a wooden deck appears as the body of the pirate ship, the Mimic, PBR, the Phantom Requiem, is summoned. Awesome. Okay. And you guys can exit that skill challenge. And because of you guys nailing that skill challenge, let's roll on this real quick. Holy crap. So that is the windfall you guys receive for nailing that skill challenge.
That's probably came in.
Better be a fight this section.
Also, I do want to say I am enjoying that bardcore version of Everlong.
Well, I was hoping there was a bardcore version of My Hero, because that's the song that plays when Jackson and The Rock just jump out of the window in The Other Guys, but there's not. All right, you guys are all aboard the ship, the Phantom Requiem, PBR. It lets out a shark-like roar. It's PBR.
That is so cool.
Turns its like shark, almost like dinosaur-esque head around and says, "Long time no see, thanes of Icewind Dale."
Phantom's Requiem. It is good to see you again as well.
Mm. I'm here. It must mean we are going to go on an adventure.
I sure hope so.
Yes, we are headed for a place called Grimskull. Do you know of it?
Grimskull. I believe I know the general way. It will take us 5 days to reach its locale from this port.
That's all right. Thankfully, we were expecting this, and we made sure to stock on supplies beforehand. That, and we have some. As she sort of looks at Valish Gant in her periphery, things to take care of along the way.
He gulps. He's like, "That sounds like you guys are gonna murder me. You're not gonna murder me, right?"
Oh, no, of course not.
Okay, good.
No, pop it up. Oh, we're not gonna murder you. If you die, and if you're gonna die, you're gonna have a weapon in your hand, and I'm gonna give you about as fair a fight as I can give you. I'll have one hand tied behind my back.
He looks. He like looks like so horrified. He's like, I don't understand. What is happening? Why is this happening to me?
It's because you're an evil bastard. But I've got a very vivid imagination, Ganty.
I just ran one protection racket and, sold my soul to Lord Asmodeus for more arcane power. That doesn't make me a bad guy, does it?
Oh, you mean the fact that you were more than happy to financially take advantage of people while they were already in a rather tight burden, both financially and emotionally. Oh, yes, that does totally make you a bad person.
Not something that you'd kill me over, right?
Lewis will shrug and say, like, look, my deal was to get you out. What happens to you after that is not my concern.
And with that, the suspicious-looking barn owl polymorphs itself back into an impidimp real quick. I feel like congratulations are in order. We are far away from the prison. Valish Gant is here, and not inside Revel's End. You've clearly upheld the deal that you made with my master, Lord Asmodeus.
Yes. And, of course, just so you make sure I didn't forget, and she'll reach to her pack and pull out the key and hold it out. I may not have needed it, but terms are that you may have it back.
He'll take it in hand. Now, more congratulations should be in order as you accomplish this task with nearly 20 days left on the timer.
I appreciate...
Oh, please continue. Please continue.
It's like, I appreciate that, but as far as I'm aware, the terms of the deal, unfortunately, didn't offer any bonuses for timely retrieval, just that I meet the terms within the deadline, and I have. So I guess now, my question would be, how do we proceed from here?
Yes, of course. Well, Baelish is to remain here in Icewind Dale. The Master still has much need of him. And in our communications, the Master thinks it would be best for both Baelish's interests and the interest of the Master and the interest of your group if Baelish is to remain with you. Maybe there's information he has that could be useful for your other objectives.
Okay. Well, thankfully we still had plenty of chain to keep hold of him. But now, shouldn't your master complete his end of the deal for me then?
Of course, the Master has outlined that this to me. He wants to set up the meet with your father, Levistus, within the next, he looks at the calendar, before the 8th of Nightal, the end of your contract, not to distract you from your current work. And as a, how you say, show of faith, he returns the arcane key to you.
Alright.
For your trouble.
Alright. She'll take the key and then just put it back in her pack. And does that mean you'll be staying with us then?
He shakes his head. No, I'm afraid I am needed in the Nine Hells, so I will be returning back. But it has been a pleasure staying with you all when you weren't, trying to pervert me from my work by throwing dog food at me.
Well, I would tell you that it was a pleasure working with you, but that would be a lie.
So rude. So rude. So that we're on the same page. Baelish should remain with you all. Please, keep him safe. Think of it as a favor to not just me and the Master, but to yourselves. I know he is quite smarmy and has a punchable face. As he says that, you guys all look at his face again.
So punchable.
So punchable.
Gaiman will raise a fist as if to punch Gant in the face just to make him flinch.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, totally easy. Yeah, I actually feel bad for bullying you. I mean, this is ridiculously easy.
Listen, you can see that Baelish is just like, oh my gosh. I'm literally just a weak human wizard. And there's so many of them. Scarrick will say, as I said, the Master will contact you within the next few days to set up your meet. The Master has also extended the invitation to your allies, seeing as how he doesn't want them to miss a thing.
Fine.
Well, that is up to you. Well,
DM's like, we don't have to separate the party. Alicia's like, we're separating the party.
At least he ain't going to the house.
Well, I guess this is where I go hit the old dusty trail, he says. He stretches his arms. Back to the nine hells I go. He extends his hands forward to you, Lotus, in a handshake. It's a pleasure doing business.
Lotus will just cross her arms over her chest and like, just tell your master to please call me first. And she taps the side of the Flavy mask.
Of course.
Skerrick, before you go, I'd like to apologise for being such a prick to you all those times before. Being a complete douchebag to get here has kind of made me realise I've been unfair to a lot of people of late, and I'd like to make amends and offer an apology if I may. And Gaiman will, extend out a hand to shake the Skerrick.
The imp would like to make a insight check upon you because he feels that this might be a deception.
That is fair.
Okay, the imp is going to make a insight check. It rolls a 22. With its insight is
to get a natural 20 in order to deceive it, maybe. Let's see what happens here.
What does the imp's insight check reveal?
Gaiman's holding out a hand, and he's barely suppressing a smile. Like, you can see the corners of his mouth turned up, and there's just like this gleam in his eye that the imp will know that as soon as he extends his hand, Gaiman will grab it to make sure he can't go anywhere. Grab his hand, and then he will mercilessly flick Skerrick in the face with his like he was like launching a paper football.
Skerrick, with his very good insight check, says, I believe a deception was attempted, and with that, I will bid you all adieu. And Skerrick will disappear in a small cloud of fire.
Oh, fucking hell, he's no fun.
And Lotus, you can expect a call from Central Scheduling to schedule a meeting with the Master before the end of the contract date.
All right. I guess it gives me time to think about what I'm going to talk with dear old Dad about.
Phantom's Requiem, how have you been?
Oh, I've been quite good. I'm glad you asked. I've been going on, how you like to say, a rampage as of late.
That sounds fun.
Yes, I have been prowling the seas, finding worthy challengers, and fighting them, and then eating them with my giant maw.
Right. Well, if, hopefully no, like, pirate hunters come after us while we're on this journey.
Yes, that would be quite something. But how many pirate hunters do you even know that would come up this far seeking me?
Akia just shrugs. Do you have any...
I'm sorry, Akia, I'll interrupt.
You go ahead.
I mean, I was just going to say, it kind of depends on how big a bounty there is on you. I mean, the risk would have to substantially reward substantially outweigh the risks. Because I mean, you're a big fuck off pirate ship, you know, mate.
That is true. Huh. It's probably not something for us to worry about. We'll be fine. Adding pirate hunters to the random encounter table. That sounds pretty cool.
So, how large is Phantom's Requiem? Because I had an idea to like put some alarms.
I'm glad you asked.
But the
Give me a
alarms
moment.
only reach 30 feet. But I was thinking I could put like scrag alarms. Like if anything tries to board Phantom's Requiem from
Let
the
me
water.
go ahead and stop it. The animation real quick. There you go, because you guys haven't taken off quite yet. So Phantom's Requiem is about this size. Its size would be considered, gargantuan by D&D standards, but, it's just a normal-sized vessel.
Okay. I would ask Phantom's Requiem if there's any particular creatures, in particular, that like try to board him when he's just out sailing.
All kinds. Marrow, scrag trolls, undead that, are trying to reach onto any last vestiges of life. You name it.
Mm-mm. All right, then I will try to make these wards more generic then, and I just explained to PR that I'm just gonna make some magic mouths to basically a ward. The trigger is going to be if anything larger than tiny, because I don't want like what's the word? Barnacles. I don't want like barnacles setting it off. So just anything larger than tiny tries to climb PBR. Like out of the water, it's just gonna set off the magic mouth alarms. And I'm just gonna use my last 3 amethysts to just set them here, here, and here along the ship, so that'll cover all of the ship.
All right, so you got amethyst alarms to, let you guys know if you're about to get attacked from below.
And I'll be ritually casting Magic Mouth.
Sounds good.
And I am removing those materials. Jade shards. I've got 3 jade shards. I'm going to use all of them.
Super dope. Before you guys take off into the ocean, it seems like Akia is doing this as a kind of preparation. Is there any preparation from anyone else that you guys want to take?
Here's a question. Where's Alicia right now?
Kind of middle of the ship, just looking out on the water.
Alright, I guess seeing that, Alicia, Lewis would walk up to you and say, Alicia,
Mm.
I don't know what it is, but I get the feeling you've got some things you want to, talk to me about.
Mm. Alicia kind of just thinks for a moment. I'm also thinking for a moment. Um, I think for right now, with this task that we still have with Baelish, I was kind of hoping it would just be done with, but I guess there's still more.
Yes, but look, you've done a lot for me, even, and I admit that I've probably put you in more than a few situations where I've needed your help, and you've helped me with wanting little or honestly even nothing in return. So, over anything else, I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome. Though
I
I
mean-
don't think thanks is necessary, just looking out for people I have come to care for.
I'll say this, if being a cleric doesn't work out for you, not that it wouldn't, but if it doesn't, I think you'd make a really good life coach.
Who's to say that they're not one and the same?
I never thought of it that way. If you'll excuse me, I think I'm
I
starting to get the jitters.
I think
sorry,
I
go
may
ahead.
have said this to you before, but I do hope you know what you're doing.
Well, I like to think I do, but it wouldn't be the first time I've flown by the seat of my metaphorical pants.
Devils are, well, they respect hierarchy and laws, but that doesn't put them above putting people into situations that they don't have a hope of coming out. Just be careful.
Well, that will give me something to think over. Well, if you'll excuse me, she'll head over towards the bow of the ship and move to light up a cigarette. And as she does, she'll put it in her mouth, take out her notebook, and then start writing down just notes about what she wants to talk to her father about.
Awesome. PBR will ask the crew, are you all ready to get sailing?
I am so excited.
This is the weirdest trip ever.
So, question.
This is the coolest ship ever.
Yes, sir. Question from Gaiman.
You said what preparations we are making. Is there a crow's nest?
There is.
Okay. So, Gaiman would like to. He knows he is not the best when it comes to eyesight, but there's nothing better in a fight than being able to surprise your enemy. So he will, gather up his cold weather clothing, any other, warm blankets or furs or what have you, and food and a bucket, and he will set up camp in the crow's nest to watch and wait for anything that might come to attack the ship as we're sailing.
Gaiman, make a perception check.
Are you teasing me or
No,
or
make a perception check.
Okay.
When you get up there, Kumakyu barks at you. It is very surprising as you try to climb in.
Okay. Hmm. I guess I need to make a dexterity saving throw.
That's up to you.
But I think did you see it coming? I think you may have.
I mean, I rolled an 18, but Kumikyu rolled a 19. I don't think I saw it coming.
Well, I think he's referring to your danger sense.
Oh, but yeah. I
But
guess Gaben would
what does register as danger?
It's like those instances when Spider-Man gets hurt by stuff, even though he shouldn't because of his Spider-Man powers.
Yep, exactly. He didn't register on his spidey sense.
Yeah, how high is the crow's nest?
Let's see. We will say that it extends over the ship 20 feet. I feel like that is an appropriate sized crow's nest.
Okay. At the bark, Gaiman, he's got one hand on the rigging, the other is full of stuff he's bringing up. He's got the bucket, he's got the blankets. He's got his mind on any upcoming fights. Like he's daring fate to like send skags their ways. He's thinking to himself, "I'm gonna fuck up their shit." And then there's Kumikyu up at the top, barks, surprises him. He loses his grip and he falls to the deck.
Oh my gosh! There's a loud crack as Gaiman hits the ground.
Whoa.
Okay, Did
Yes,
you send your little bugger off critter to flit up there and spook me?
No. Akia looks up and Kumakyu's just got their face over the side. They got a little eye patch on, and they just give out another little bark.
And Gaiman's flat on his back. I imagine like the bucket's on his head, but like you could like he's got a his eyes are exposed. Like it looks like he's wearing a stupid helmet. And he's got the things he'd been carrying up are kind of strewn about. Tell your little furry friend if he pulls that shot again, I'm going to chase him down, and I'm going to obliterate him because I know he can come back from the dead.
Kumakyu, be nice to Gaiman. Let Gaiman in your nest.
How the bloody hell is that his nest?
Finders keepers rules, I suppose.
What do you mean, finders keepers rules? That is the perfect vantage point to launch an attack upon any would-be shithead that clambers onto this boat thinking he's going to get the drop on us. But in reality, I'm getting the drop on him.
I don't know. Just you asked. I was just trying to answer the question. I'm not saying Kumakyu has a rightful claim to it. I'm just saying that Kumakyu has claimed it.
Share the crow's nest with a small fuzzball with a twisted sense of humor. Great.
I don't think Kumakyu meant for you to fall all the way to
Oh
the deck.
shit! Gant would have been shackled to me, maybe.
Probably.
That he would have went up there with you. And Gant would have also fallen.
Taking 9 points of damage, almost died because wizard.
Thankfully, he has enough hit points where this wouldn't.
I said almost
Nearly
died.
killed.
Almost died.
He's like, damn you.
It depends on who went up first.
He says, let me destroy this curmudgeon, please.
No.
One spell and he'll be done.
Gaiman will pick himself up and he will come over and loom over Gant and say, Oi, if anybody's going to obliterate that little fuzzball, it's me. Not you. Me. I pick your ass up and we're going back up top. We're going to set up shop and you can be quiet. Savvy?
Fine. But if I'm to be useful to you at all, perhaps I can make a suggestion of sorts.
I'm listening.
I am a trained wizard of the Arcane. A member of the Arcane Brotherhood. If we were to get into any fights, the only thing that I could potentially do right now is cast my cantrips. But if I were to be given a wand, there are many things that I could do to help our cause.
Oh, like teleportation? No.
I'm just saying. I can be very helpful, given the opportunity.
I'm sure you could.
Okay, a question for you, mate. As I'm trying to set up shop up in the process and given what just happened with fuck that here chain to my wrist, would you, for the duration of our sailing voyage, be willing to shackle to him so I could have freedom of movement should any scrags or other creatures come on board? That way I don't inadvertently kill the motherfucker.
Oh, okay.
So Gaiman will take out of his sporran the key, undo the shackle that's around his left wrist, and then attach Gant to a key. We'll take responsibility for him once we make landfall. I feel like I need freedom of movement if I'm going to be most effective on board the ship should we come under a fire, you know?
Okay.
Appreciate it, mate. Thank you. And then Gaiman will gather his things back up, and he will make another trip back up the rigging to the crow's nest.
That's awesome. Danica, as you hand over this material, Alicia, I've actually been meaning to talk to you about something that has been whispered into my ear by our friends. The Chewinga. They have their own little interesting ways of speaking, and they've told me much.
Wait, hold on. Since when have you been able to speak Chewinga?
She says, well, I can't really speak the language. I'm more or less interpreting their charades. And The cute little buggers, they would never tell you if you were right or wrong.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna cross charades off of game night in the future. Not playing against you. But what
Yes.
did our little friends say?
Well, there's something that we need to find when we go to Grimscow. They made reference to a book. Have we found any information about a book at Grimscow?
Not that I can recall. See. I know Alicia has kind of been doing a little bit of research since like the little time skip between the Charlin Dragon and whatnot. But also the stuff that we got when we went to the Elven Tomb. Nothing's been mentioned of a book so far, right?
So this is the perfect time to do kind of a put it all together, and I'll allow you as a player to make this decision. Put it all together check, and this could be either history, religion, or arcana, to see if you can put all of this stuff together and potentially find something here that you could use.
Okay. I'm gonna do religion. That's my highest. Hold on a second. No, I don't have that here. Is this able to benefit from guidance, or is this too far gone?
I will say you can use guidance on this.
Okay. Alright, here's religion. Yeah, 29.
God damn!
No, let's do that. 30.
Okay. In the combined research, the information that you have found in the Lost Spire, the Elven Tomb, the red yarn board that you guys are all putting together of potential methods is all coming together. There is a book that was mentioned. And now that your friend Danica has brought it back up, the book is titled The Codicil of White, a ancient tome penned by the followers of Auril in the ancient past. And with it could be an ancient spellbook. It could contain all sorts of different objects or rituals. Its contents are unknown, but it's something that you all need to find, and well, something that you will probably need to read. And through this interaction, its most likely location is Grimscow.
So I think probably for the next couple of hours, Alicia just has their materials kind of spread across the deck, and it's just going from reference to reference, checking with Danica, reference to reference, getting a little bit more, I wouldn't say frantic, but that's probably the best word I can think of. Almost like, the meme of Charlie Day with, conspiracy board until they eventually get to that book. And I think there's a little bit of excitement from them as they've possibly gotten a lead to how to break this eternal winter, or at least another lead. The Summer Star was something, but unfortunately that fizzled out.
Absolutely.
Lotus, can we talk about the Codicil White? I've been dying to talk about the Codicil White. I've been trying to talk about the Codicil White to everybody. This is just driving me crazy.
Mhm.
That's exactly what Danica Greysteel has been doing. Just waiting for opportunity. So, you guys have 5 days on this ship. I pre-rolled, thinking that you guys might make it onto the ship successfully, and do so without too much of a hitch in your giddy up. For your encounters and anything that may happen on your journey. So this is the first day of travel, and of the kind of the things that may or may not happen, the first interesting thing that happens is towards the end of the first day. So I'm just going to move the hours forward till nearly like dinner time on the ship. Far ahead of the ship, as PBR kind of plugs forward through the seas of moving ice, you see a black shape leap out of the water several yards ahead of you all. Those of you who would be looking out the sides of the ship, you can give me a perception check to see if you can't identify what this creature could potentially be. Okay, Gaiman, you would see this creature and you would recognize it. And I will put it on the map here. And you would have seen it as it jumped out of the water. You see that the creature, this black whale, is chasing several creatures that look like this as they kind of dive and dip through the water. And it's kind of like swimming after them as they're kind of going through the water and swimming along the ice floes.
Well, Gaming would call out, I don't know if you would know what it's actually called, but you call it, there's a black whale. But circle of life. You wouldn't intervene, but if the seals try to get up on board, I mean, he's not going to stop the seals from seeking refuge.
Yeah, I think Lotus would probably feel pretty much the same.
The seals are doing their best to try to get out and away from this orca. Let's see. They have a movement speed of that. And so there's no way that these seals can escape from this orca whale. I was just looking at the old statics there. The orca can swim about twice as fast. So you guys see the orca whale. And there is only one of the whales, as it, unfortunately enough for the seals, circle of life consumes them.
Y'all, orcas are mean. Just so you know.
Is that from Matt or is that from Akia?
That's from Matt. I just literally watched a documentary yesterday where a a pod of orcas was just attacking a baby humpback whale. It was crazy. It's like, oh my goodness.
Nature be scary, yo.
Mm-hmm. They mean. And they love attacking babies.
I mean, it's easier prey. Plus,
Mm-hmm.
I've also seen footage where orcas will, if a seal gets up on a ice floe, the orcas will start attacking the ice floe to break it up, so that it forces the seal back into the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are very much murder machines.
You think you're getting away from us?
They are smart. They are smart murder machines.
Y'all seals came to the wrong hood.
Indeed, indeed. So that is the big event that you guys see, the whale hunting after these seals. As you guys are looking at this scene, does anyone have any words of wisdom or anything that they share with the party after witnessing?
Is PBR looking at the whale hungrily? We'll go eat that whale.
Let me.
I mean, circle of life.
Let's see here.
Two.
PBR is not actually paying attention to the whale. He's looking off into the sunset and thinking to himself, when will I ascend higher? When will I find my place in the world?
Ship with ambitions. That's terrifying.
Okay, so that was the little whale and seal event.
Phantom's Requiem. I don't know if it's easier to like navigate during the day or night. I don't know. It's so cloudy. I don't know. Can't really see the stars or anything. Anyway, if you ever want me to check my compass to make sure we're on the right path, just let me know.
Of course, Takia. And I am a living creature, so I do need to sleep. I can't just go endlessly on and on.
Good point.
So, Phantom's Requiem will need to sleep at some point, so you guys will have to set anchor and rest, and then set off.
Well, I guess we're kind of beholden to his schedule, so.
You're right. So he will stop right now.
So we can't do shit about it.
Man, I'm just thinking of how terrible this would be. So, Kia, you got all the time to do tool checks. So that is pretty much the end of the first day. So party, you guys can get a rest aboard the ship Phantom's Requiem. Here's the question. Do you guys venture into the cabins of the Phantom's Requiem?
Nope.
Definitely.
I don't want to know what the fuck's in there.
I do ask permission first.
Of course, you can venture into my cabins. As a mimic ship, I have to be able to fool any that I would want to eat upon entering my body. But I do not wish to eat you all. We have become friends.
Is this conversation carrying on loud enough that Doom would be able to hear it?
Yes.
Okay, Gaiman will accompany Akia if Akia is going to go exploring for two reasons. One, Gant is chained to Akia, and two, Gaiman does not want Akia to be.
That's fair.
Yeah, but yeah, Akia will just explore a little bit, just getting familiar with like the layout of the ship, and maybe if PBR seems pretty cool with it, they'll snoop around, be like, oh, what's in this closet? Just a couple closets, a couple foot lockers. Maybe there's a mimic inside the mimic. Who knows about the whole biology of ship mimics.
Like
Find a
there's a mimic parasite.
Mimicception.
Yeah, and maybe there's a closet with like some internal organs in it or something. You never know. It's a giant mimic ship. It's crazy.
It is pretty crazy. So, Akia, what is the craziest thing that you find aboard the mimic ship, the Phantom Requiem, as you guys are exploring its inner decks?
I think maybe eventually you get to one level and you're like, oh, okay, there's one deck even lower, and then like you open up the hatch to go one deck lower, and it's like just the stomach, and you're like, nope.
I love that. That's cool. Gaiman, what's the craziest thing that you see as you're following Akia through the lower decks of the mimic ship, the Phantom Requiem?
The craziest thing that Gaiman would see?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like PBR, not only do they need to fool people coming on board, but I feel that it's kind of like a reverse Sarlacc pit type deal, where instead of like feeding off the fear, they want to like lure them into a sense of safety and protection. Like lure them in, and David will come across the quote-unquote mess hall, and there is a sumptuous banquet laid out, but it's all fake because it's all mimic bits and what have you. And I guess the idea is that people that cannot control themselves, they sit down and they eat, and not knowing that they're basically feeding themselves mimic. And they're being absorbed as they go.
Oh, that's crazy. And oof, it would be a terrible way to go as you're just getting...
Yeah, I kind of feel like we would come across it and like we'd be warned off, like, do not eat any of this. Here's why. It's just like, oh god, yes, we're turning about, we're leaving right now.
Is there a partially digested person at one of the tables?
There would be a face, like a miniature Phantom Requiem's face. You do not want to eat this food, for it is not actually food. It is me, and I use it to subdue my smaller prey.
It's not terrifying at all. Yeah, let's go. Let's get the fuck out of here.
OOC, I hear if your name is Valish Gant, it's okay to eat.
Valish is like, motherfucker, I heard that. And he is giving you like the double bird inside of his mind because he knows if he flips you the bird, Gaiman will probably like break his fingers or something.
Mm-hmm.
No, just a gib slap, but still, it will not be kind.
Is there any like RP that needs to be done with the things that Alicia is giving Ekia to work on, or is it pretty straightforward?
Pretty straightforward. Seeing as how well you did the reliquary the other day, thank you for that. I do have a couple of other things if you have space in your schedule, and yeah, request the sunburst amulet and some crushed diamond dust.
Okay. The crushed diamond dust should just take an hour, because I can make whatever tools I need to just crush some diamonds with my feature. I might need a tracker for the amulet.
It's worth 100 gold, so it's based on price.
Okie dokie.
Okay, let me pop onto your sheet real quick.
And yeah, Alicia will hand over the money required for that, or the materials for both things.
Sunburst amulets. So I'm going to say it won't take you too long to make this item because it's a relatively low DC. Because Alicia is supplying most of the items, and you have a very high technical know-how. So let me go ahead and set this for you.
Also, Lotus and Watto, if y'all get up to anything, PBR can see you and feel you.
Well, the thing is, I think Lotus would probably be aware of that, but I think this is actually a rare instance where she isn't in that sort of mood. Um, I guess if you don't mind, DM, if I could, if you don't mind me, just grabbing the scene real quick that we discussed before.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, I'd say probably after having rested, and just gotten sleep and reminding Watto that as much as they like their time together, PBR is literally all around us, and she doesn't like having an audience. But after just getting some good sleep, the next morning she'd wake up and go back to the bow of the ship, and while enjoying her breakfast of a cigarette, uh, she's puffing on it, and she's using a minor illusion, and she's conjured up an image of her best friend Diamante, and she flashes back to she'd been keeping in touch over the internet and over her phone, but just the last time they'd met in person, scene shifts to her pulling up to the departures gate at Baltimore Washington International Airport, and Diamante's pulling out her briefcase, and Evelise is looking at her and saying, like, well, I guess one of us is getting to live out our dreams.
Lotus, I mean, there's always room on that plane for one more person. I don't have to go alone.
Yeah. She'll give a smirk and a bit of a scoff at that. I'm like, you know how my mom is. I wanted to go to the wrestling school with you, but she insisted I get and she makes air quotes, a real job.
Well, I might have to do some real jobbing. She makes air quotes at first when I'm first starting wrestling, but it's just part of the job. Lotus,
Don't worry.
eventually, you'll get out from underneath your mom, and you'll get to do the things you want to do.
Well, if I do eventually win that Pulitzer, I'll be sure to let you know.
And when I become a world champion, I won't have to let you know, because it's going to be known throughout the world. Diamante, world champ.
She nods and, pausing for a moment, she'll wrap her arms around Diamante and hold her tight and just say, "Look, you've done so much for me, but look, don't worry about me. I'll be fine."
Hey, we're born and raised in one of the hardest cities on planet Earth. If we can be born here, we can make it here, we can survive, we can do anything.
She'll nod to the hug and say, and remember their mantra, forever trust in who we are.
She looks to you, Lotus, and says, offer still stands. Get on that plane, or when you want to, just come meet me at wrestling school. I'll keep a locker cleared out for you.
Maybe one day, but look, I don't want you to miss your flight. Go, before I change my mind.
She offers a predator handshake to you.
It's like, remember, forever trust in who we are, and nothing else matters.
She smiles, walks away. As she walks away, she throws a peace sign over her shoulder, and she holds her wrestling bag tight to her back, walking out into the hallway to head to wrestling school.
And here, then, I guess, smash cut of scenes of Diamante training and wrestling in Stardom, the Japanese all-women's pro wrestling promotion, and Lotus watching, all of her matches, and then it fades back to the scene of her on the ship, just looking at the hologram in her hand, and anyone either in the party or the B team would see her just looking at it.
Your very fuzzy and long-tailed boyfriend. It says, Lotus, what is it that you're looking at there?
Well, that's my best friend in the whole, I guess, world is a bit cliche now, considering here, I guess my best friend in universe, Diamante, that human who's always helped me and defended me when I was growing up.
A memory from home, then.
Just give a soft nod.
We'll get back there. Don't worry.
I know. She'll take a long drag from her cigarette and just look out onto the distance.
And with that, we will pull the scene forward to the next morning. So you guys, if you haven't, you can grab a long rest.
And this is day 2, right?
This is going to be day 2 of the journey. So we're on the 21st of Uktar. If you guys haven't, make sure to give yourself your blessing of Lathander. This morning, you guys are all awoken, by PBR kind of like, almost like jerking to a stop as you guys are kind of sailing. In front of you all, you see that there is a huge ice floe, but from the ice floe, you can hear this like haunting melody. It sounds like the sound of a very elegant stringed instrument being played.
Oh, is that a siren of the sea is that saying? I didn't think that it would sound like that though.
I'm not sure there. Oh, go ahead, Alicia.
No, I'm unfamiliar with mermaids as well.
Mermaid?
Or sirens.
What?
Creatures of the sea.
No, like a siren. Like wee woo wee woo.
Oh no, they're... Well, I've only heard this from some of the sailors that were in port back in Baldur's Gate, but I guess there's tales of creatures that would sing that could lure out sailors to their doom in the water.
Yeah, I never got that. Why would anyone drown themselves because they heard a siren?
Well, no, it was more of like the song was tempting them into the water. It was like a magical thing. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I've never really been that tempted by wee woo, but I mean that sounds a lot better than I imagined.
Yeah, Lotus will nod towards Alicia and say, like, yes, my world, they had tales of such things. The songs would supposedly lure the sailors to crash their boats. The sirens would then feed upon the victims who drowned.
Baelish Gant, it's a new day. It's a new day to not be bad. I cast Sibling Guilt.
He looks at you and says, "Do you want me to investigate this sound, this phenomenon?"
No, it's all right. Just don't be bad.
Okay, I will do my best, he says.
So we've come to a complete stop?
Yeah, the Phantom Requiem says, the sound is slightly disconcerting and the ice flow is quite large. Before I just move around it, I wanted to make sure that it's safe.
It's horrible for the person to try and investigate the supernatural stuff, but here goes. Alicia will try and see if they can pinpoint where the origin of that song or melody or whatever's going on the ice floe.
Our captain. Don't forget to use your spyglass. And as Alicia looks through their spyglass, Akia will try to sneak an eye patch onto their other eye.
I hear him coming.
Yes.
Well, an 18 to look out onto that ice floe.
All right, Alicia, as you are looking out onto the ice floe that has kind of parked itself in front of your guys' ship, you notice that there is actually a lot of contact points between it and a glacier that is very close by it. And Alicia, with your level of perception, you know this to be true. You think that is a sort of natural phenomenon that might be happening where the ice floe and the glacier are almost creating some sort of percussive music that is creating this haunting melody that you all are hearing.
That's new. They will inform the rest of the party of what's going on, as well as PR. So I guess it's safe to go around. It's just a naturally occurring phenomenon, from what I understand.
The ice grinding against each other.
PBR will look back and says, "So it's safe to move around?"
I think it should be safe.
All right.
Just,
And the... Go ahead.
just be careful.
PBR will make a be careful check as it rolls its dexterity to see if it can just carefully avoid the ice flows and the glacier. It does very well. Now we have to resolve this. So, Alicia, do you resist Akia trying to put a eye patch upon you? Or do you wish for an eye patch to be put upon you, first of all?
Alicia will indulge this.
Mm.
It won't stay for long, but they will indulge this for right now.
Okay, and then Kumaki will fly down, land on your shoulder, and squawk. Flap its little wings. I'm done.
Well, I guess you can call me Captain Alicia, Raider of the Blazing Sun.
Lotus will look over and you be like,
Okay.
"It seems I'm the only one of us who has not been affected by this pirate's curse."
Phantom's Requiem will say to you all, are you wishing me to release something that might, how you say, encourage you all to embrace the buccaneer lifestyle?
Do what now?
Pirate pheromones.
Yes, it would be like a pirate pheromone type situation.
Oh, right. Doesn't this fucker have like an oar that makes us act like pirates? I forgot about
It
that.
can do that. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. One of my dogs is making a very terrible sound. I'll be right back.
That's never good.
Hopefully it's okay.
Okay, so one of the dogs was... Well, one of the cats was trying to treat one of the dogs like it was a camel, and it was trying to like jump on its back and try to ride it around the house.
Yeah, the dog was having none of that.
It's like, nope, nope, please no, please no.
That's cute though. Terrible for the dog. I do hereby declare that I am dropping the repulsion shield infusion for the manta ray cloak. And I switched out my spells. I got some spells Got a spell so I can help keep our ship fed. Got a spell to give us some underwater breathing, maybe, if we need that. Good stuff. So do we make it around the ice floe okay?
You guys make it around the ice floe perfectly fine. And this was really your big encounter for the day. So if you guys have no, what's the word? No roleplay that you guys would like to engage in, I can move you guys to the third day.
I guess the only thing I can think of is probably at some point just to help pass the time. Lewis would tell a story of someone what she knows is a video game series, but she'd tell you a series of plays here of a half human, half devil who had a business where he hunted down various devils and demons that made their way to Earth. Gentleman who went by the name of Dante.
That does sound interesting. If you wrote a book about that, I would read it.
And then, but the way she tells it, though, it's basically, it isn't like a regular story. She's telling it like, like she's a real big fan, because she is just like, yeah, and he has these two guns, and he goes pow, 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 and he's got like a big broadsword, and then he has this thing that's called Devil Trigger, where he can turn into like a half devil creature, and it looks so cool.
As you're speaking about this, Lotus, Danica will say to Alicia, before that Lotus knew that she had a devilish heritage, do you think that she had some kind of precognisis based on her love of this character, Dante?
With how they're speaking with such enthusiasm, maybe.
I grow more and more worried for her every day.
Though I
May
will
still
admit
amaze my
this,
character.
I will say this character sounds stylish.
I want to hear more about his brother, Virgil.
The one with the sword?
I like big swords. And she blushes.
Alicia just looks at her like, why would you say this?
And as you guys continue to speak of the Devil May Cry and Virgil and his long katana, the day passes. And you guys all gain a DM inspiration from solving the ice floes and seeing the whales and talking about DMC. Now, the next kind of important thing that happens on the third day of trial, on the 22nd of Uktar, happens at about 3 p.m. You guys come upon a very kind of terrifying sight as you're moving through the sea of moving ice. You come across a ship graveyard. As you guys approach this graveyard, what are the reactions of the characters as you guys can see them floating just below the depths of the water?
I'd say Lotus is probably feeling a bit uneasy and just sort of like looking about for either basically anything, either spiritual or zombie-like, and remembering was it like the crew of the Flying Dutchman from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Kia, what are you doing as? Excuse me, Alicia. Go ahead.
Well, I do have a question. Man, 1D&D is kind of weird. So for their cleric spell list, they took out Water Walk from cleric, but I don't know if that's really going to be official. The current 2014 cleric spell list has Water Walk. Would you allow me to have that spell within my list?
Yes, sir. You can have the water walk spell.
Okay. So then, specifically for this situation, seeing as this is happening, Alicia is very much on guard and start ritual casting Water Walk on everyone. Because again, it looks like it affects up to 10 creatures.
Right, Alicia's ritual casting water walk upon you all. Akia, are you doing anything as you guys come upon this scene?
I was gonna say I was gonna ritual cast water breathing on everybody.
Nice, the wombo combo. And then lastly, our man in the crow's nest. Is Gaiman getting up to anything as you guys come upon this sea graveyard of ships? Gaiman, if you're speaking, I can't hear you.
No, sorry. I got distracted.
Okay, no problem. Okay, y'all. So, we will leave it on as a cliffhanger, as PBR has mysteriously stopped as is kind of looking about, wondering what is happening as you guys have sailed into the ship graveyard. And it will take you back to the start page as you guys are on day 3 of travel. On the 5th day, you guys will reach Grimskull, this isle that was devoted to Thrym, the frost giant god.
Okay, so we are on halfway through day 3.
Correct.
Okay, and I will roll my downtime crafting for day 2.
Perfect. That sounds good to me. All right, friends, I hope that you guys are having fun with the session. I think it's been kind of kooky, kind of crazy. We've been doing a lot of different adventuring here. All right, well, guys, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. If you guys need me for anything, please add me in the Discord. Hope you guys have a good weekend.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Brian.
My pleasure, guys.
Good game.
You guys have a good one. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, you too. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Catch you next time.